Looky here, looky here.
Oh, here we are back again.
It's been a minute, everybody. It's
It's been more than a minute. It's
it's
been
been
several minutes.
it's been several minutes. It has. We are back though. So just real quick, little synopsis of what's going to happen here. We're going to do bi-weekly shows for the next, I don't know what, couple months probably till football kind of gears back up, and then we'll be back to once a week. Obviously when football hits. So we wanted to come back, talk to you guys. If you guys are on the live stream tonight, we appreciate you very much. This is the
For sure,
first
shout
time.
out.
Yeah, this is the first time that me and Blake actually have went live
He
to
finally
Facebook.
talked me into it.
I did. Blake doesn't like going live because he doesn't like when we mess up. He can't hit stop and we can start over again.
That's right. And knowing you and I, we are going to mess up, but
We're
we'll just have to
probably
push through it this time.
Hey, it is what it is, baby. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you guys can, please go and subscribe, share, review. We can't tell you guys what it means when you guys do all that stuff. So it's great to be back talking a little bit. We're going to cover a lot of stuff tonight. It might not be an hour-long episode like it is, like we normally are. Hell, I don't know. We might go an hour, but we're going to talk some different things tonight. But please go over to YouTube. We will have this. This will be up as soon as we're done tonight. It will be up on our YouTube channel, Bama Lounge. If you're listening via Apple or Spotify or wherever you guys get your podcasts, we appreciate if you would slap us a review, hit the subscribe. Go ahead, Blake. Do your little thing. What do you always tell them to do on Apple?
Go ahead and subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe. That helps to boost us on Apple, of course. It helps with their algorithm. I don't know exactly how that works, but it helps. So go ahead and hit that, unsubscribe, resubscribe over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, and if you're watching live tonight, hit us up in the comments. If you guys want us to talk about something or you got something to say, we'll pop it up here on the screen, and me and Blake will do our best to.
Unless you're a Florida State fan, then I don't want to talk to you, especially Andrew Holt. Yeah, just don't even hop on here and start talking trash about Florida State. Look, we'll get to that, and I'll have to make my peace with that because I did talk a crazy amount of shit before that Florida State was fighting that whole series.
We'll probably talk a lot of softball tonight just because it's what was recent and the most recent, really, and stuff that went down that we thought was going to be a better outcome, obviously, for Alabama, and it wasn't. But again, we appreciate you guys joining us tonight. What do you want to start off with, dude? You want to start off with softball, or you want to kind of hit baseball first?
Let's hit baseball first. Let's go to the boys.
So, baseball this season, I was hoping like last year, before COVID hit, when it was I think we started off. What was it? It was crazy, dude. It's like 16-1.
Yeah, it was 16-1. It was a great start. The boys looked good. They looked amped for an SEC schedule, and then boom, COVID. This year, I mean, they didn't start out as hot, but they still looked pretty decent. And then again, SEC schedule, boom, in your face.
Yeah,
and we weren't really treat them well, but they pushed through.
They did. Their conference record doesn't show as well as I think they actually played. I mean, they were 12-17 in conference, and I think they were a little bit better than that. We lost some games we probably shouldn't have. Pitching, I don't think, was as great as it should have been. Especially there towards the end of the season. Who is a player you think, Blake, for you that stood out this year in baseball for the team?
I think it's the automatic go-to is Diodati. That dude's a freak, man. I mean, the guy puts bats on balls, and it's usually in a clutch situation. If you got guys on base and need a few runs to either, put that dagger in the heart or even make a big comeback, he's one of those guys you can almost count on every single time in a big-time situation to make a big play, and that's what big-time players do. I think he was crucial to this season. I hate we didn't have more of them throughout the regional, but that guy, he stood out more to me than anybody this season.
Since you went with him, I'm gonna go with it's kind of a toss up for me between Peyton Wilson and Sam Prater. Peyton Wilson's just insane. I mean, he hit 290, which to me is we only had one person hit 300 this year.
That's wild.
Zane Denton was the only one that hit 300. He hit 308. I think there was another kid, Bryce Eblin. Yeah, he hit 342, but he didn't. Obviously, he only had 38 plate appearances. So, count it, but everybody else, like Zane Denton, had 221 plate appearances. I just thought Peyton Wilson and Prater led the team in homers, and I think RBIs. I think he had 14 and 48. So, but I would not disagree with Diodati. I mean, Diodati was, dude, he was hitting grand slams at the beginning. I mean, that dude, between them three.
Big time plays.
Yeah. You can't, and I mean, you can't count out Chase Lee was 7-0 with a 1.33 ERA this year. I mean, 51 strikeouts to 14 walks. I mean, that kid was amazing. The pitching, though, that's what got us, I think, dude. I just, like, Dylan Smith was 2-8 this year. Tyler Rass was 7-5, which is still good. It's above 500. So I think this is what happened for me. Pre-COVID, as my dog is barking in the background, when we were 15, 16-1, we had huge high expectations this year, right, to come in and contend. Right. And it just didn't work out. Look, we made it to the regionals. Some people were pissed about that too. I saw regional. It on. Some people were pissed about that though. Like how did Alabama get in?
I don't know why you would be pissed. I mean, you snuck into a regional. Like, be excited for your team. I mean, I want to talk about that later. There's some Alabama fans to show their ass when Bama is just not the national champion every single time, and it's kind of awful. But I mean, we went into a pretty good, tough regional in first game we play NC State, who's questionably one of the hottest teams in college baseball right now, and get smoked 8-1. But then pull out a big win against Rider 3-1, and then contend against Louisiana Tech and almost fight all the way back, end up winning the game. If they had beat Louisiana Tech that night, you'd be hearing a whole different tune on Twitter.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The bandwagon would be full and loud. Let me tell you,
they would be. I mean, but overall,
you'd have people sign up that are lifelong Bogs, baseball only or Gumps.
Yeah, that was correct.
Yeah,
but he's like baseball only.
I had to think.
Hey, remember, we're live. We can't stop.
I mean, you're the one that said it. I'm still rolling with it, baby. Let's go.
But anyway, like I said, I think we had high expectations. Not that they had a bad season. I mean, 32-26. I mean, they won 30 ball games. So,
right.
I think we'll see what happens off season, what we can do next year. But overall, I wasn't disappointed. I think I wish they would have maybe got out of regionals into super regionals and see where they could go from there. But they didn't. And that's what happened. I mean, that's baseball too, man. I mean, you just never know. Let's talk about this because we're going to spend a little bit of time, I guarantee you, on this. And it's softball.
Yeah.
So first of all, incredible season. I mean, 52-9. Why? Answer me this. And I know the game before Montana Fouts pitched a perfect game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know. But why was she not on the mound for the first game against FSU?
Well, you need to think of it as think of it as Coach Murphy's thinking about it, because I mean he's the only one that knows the answer to that question. We can only speculate on that.
Yeah,
but in my opinion, I mean we had been pitching Montana the whole time. I mean she'd been pitching great. If it was me, I can't kind of like John Hines with the Nashville Predators. You go with your hot hand in goal. Whoever's playing their best hockey, that's who's going to be in. Whoever's playing their best softball, in my opinion, should be in. The way Montana's been pitching, I probably would have played her that first game, but I get resting her too because then you have a chance the next day to play the same team and who hasn't seen Montana play or hasn't played Montana yet.
Yeah,
but it kind of backfired in her face. In my opinion, I would have wanted to go ahead and take that first game and be done with it. I don't want to take a risk of having a second game with a Florida State team who can hit. Now, there was a lot of hype about UCLA, the series before or the game before, because they like to hit the ball. They're not great hitters at UCLA. They just love to swing. They swing at almost everything if it's close. Florida State swings and they know where the ball is. They don't guess. And we saw that in the first 3 innings against Montana. They knew where all her pitches were. There was some really good scouting going on. And, I mean, it showed. They knocked her out of the game in 3 innings, and that's something we haven't seen all year. That's tough.
But my whole issue with not pitching her the first game, when Bama lost the first game, that gave FSU so much firepower and a rise in their gameplay. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we beat them. Now we got Montana Fouts. Let's go out there and jack her around a little bit. And they did, obviously. They had a great – they came back, I mean, slowly. Just 8 runs in softball, I think, is a lot to overcome, man. It's a lot to overcome.
It felt like that old Cardinals-Braves game. What was it? That one game, NL wildcard game. I mean, just a big blowout, and you just can't come back from it. But, I mean, they nearly did. I mean, Bailey got that 2-run homer, really got them fired up. And when it was 8-4, I was like, all right, I got a little bit of hope. I feel some life in this. And then score some more, and I'm like, all right, 3-point game, and I can really see us getting 3 runs here and maybe a grand slam, but it just didn't work out. Florida State's pitchers were throwing some nonsense the entire game. I mean, absolutely obliterating the outside corners, and Blue was giving it to him every pitch too. He didn't hit out too much, but what can you say? Florida State's a really good team, great hitting team. Alabama made some mistakes in a game they could not make any mistakes in, and it cost them a chance at the championship series in the Women's College World Series.
Yeah, chance to play Oklahoma, which I know that game was going on.
Let me tell you, Oklahoma's going to run through Florida State. It's going to be ugly. Oklahoma is so freaking talented. It's ridiculous.
Is that your prediction?
Yeah,
hot take?
I'm going Oklahoma for the winner of the Women's College World Series. I think it's going to be a easy sweep. Thank God too.
Probably,
it's great. God works in mysterious ways. I had tweeted before that second game to my boy Andrew Holt, who's
if you were going to bring this up
for Standing Room Only. Yeah, I'll go ahead and bring it up because it never happened. So I ended up not dying from this, but I try to make a bet where if Alabama won, Andrew couldn't mention the words Florida State anything athletics for an entire year. And now that would have torched his soul. What I should have done was made him an Alabama fan for a year, which would have even more torched his soul. But he thought that was too extreme. Thank God, 3rd inning, I texted him. I was like, bro, you should have taken that bet because it looks like you would have won running easily. I'm just terrified of what he even would have said for me because if I had to not be an Alabama fan or do something awful, I would have felt terrible. Man, it is pouring down cats and dogs outside tonight.
It is. It's pouring up here earlier. I think, echo to what you said, but I read something earlier, like the 7 seniors, all of them have master's degrees. One person's getting a double, I think, what was it? She's getting her master's, double major. So that right there too, I mean,
it's impressive.
I saw – it is impressive. And I saw in an interview, I can't remember, I think it was Bailey. It was Bailey Hemphill. Was like, look, I don't care about softball. She just was talking about the University of Alabama in general and what it meant to her. And that's what you get when you go there. It doesn't matter what sport it is. Obviously, if you're, softball, football, basketball now, it's getting well known. But They go there for a reason. And I can't say enough about freaking Bailey Hempill either, dude.
Dude,
She's a damn
absolute
animal.
beast. Yes, absolutely, 1,000%.
Hit 14 homers. I think she ended up with like 65 homers in her career. I don't quite remember statistically if that was an SEC or a school record. I think maybe it was school. I don't remember, but I know it was something. But we had, I think, 5 or 6 starters hitting over 300. Bailey Hempill hit 419 for the year.
That's absurd. I mean, you got to think of the pitching reaction time between softball and baseball. They're seeing typically pitches between 68 and 72 miles per hour, and that translates over to baseball to between 99 and 102 miles per hour. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Not only did she bat 419, but Alexis Mack batted 398, Alyssa Brown batted 386, and Kaylee Tao batted 362.
How do you not win a national championship with that? I mean, that's just nuts.
4 girls batted over 350 for the season, not like for the regionals, man. For the season.
And that's with an SEC schedule and a pretty difficult non-conference schedule. I mean, that's tough.
Yeah. Then you kind of go down to pitching, and you have 2 real starters in Montana and Lexi Kilfoyle. Both of them 1.6. Well, Montana was 1.61, Kilfoyle 1.62 ERA. 27 and 4 and 13 and 4.
I mean, dude, that's that stuff you see on like Olympic teams, international teams. Like, that's just absurd.
I know. This is the best stat though that I saw from Montana Fouts. She pitched 213 innings. She had 349 strikeouts and 49 walks.
I mean, she pitched 30 and a half games.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's 10 strikeouts a game pretty much what she averaged.
I don't think we'll see another pitcher like her. I mean, I think she was once in a generation, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
she really was.
Just the way she performs, the way she practices is the craziest part. I don't know if our listeners or viewers have ever watched how Montana Fouts prepares for preseason, but she'll stack cinder blocks over the middle of home plate and literally pitch around it on the outside corners. And it's some of the most ridiculous content I have ever seen.
I think you're right. I think she's once in a generation, dude.
Phenomenal athlete. I mean, hell, let's sign her up for football next.
Oh, shit.
Hey, I could see it now. She'd be a fire quarterback.
Saban would probably make it happen.
Hey,
knowing him, we'll talk about him in a little bit too. But softball to me, it's not. Well, okay, I'm going to put it this way. For Bama fans, if Bama doesn't win a natty in football, it's like a bust for us, right? You know, like everybody's pissed off that I'm almost to the point with softball now that if we don't make it to the Women's World Series, I'm like, oh my God, we didn't make it this year.
Yeah, I think most Bama fans that don't really keep up with softball as much, but watch it more late in the season, if they don't see Bama in the Women's College World Series out of the 8 teams, they think Bama's had a bad year, which is absurd to think about. Bama's has, I think, been there 3 times, won once.
Yeah.
They have good teams. Patrick Murphy's a great coach, and he continues to pump in great athletes in there, and he knows what he's doing as a softball coach. I think that's shown, especially with Team 25. But they got to figure out how to get back over that hump because we're there. We're right there at the precipice, and we got to be able to finish the games. As of last night, we got to start the games right. Yeah,
that beginning of that game was just atrocious last night.
I mean, I felt it hurt to watch.
I felt so bad for Montana too because even if we didn't win the World Series, I still wanted her to go And all those seniors like Bailey, who's put time in for 4 years and who's been a stud pretty much for 4 years there. It was kind of shocking to be actually, it was just shocking to me that they knocked Montana Fouts out in 3 innings.
I mean,
you're not
going
to expect that.
No, I don't think anybody expected that other than Florida State.
You really didn't expect it in a game that big.
No, not at all. I really expected another performance like the perfect game she had 2 games before that.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I want to go back to that too. Watching the girls when they got that last pitch, you thought they won a national championship. I mean, they played their hearts out for that perfect game for Montana, and that takes a lot out of you. I mean, it takes a lot to throw a perfect game, and it does. It's only the 5th one ever in Women's College World Series history.
Dude,
first one in 21 years.
21 years.
Here's a number for you, Adam. The number 21. On Montana Fouts' 21st birthday, she threw the first perfect game in Women's College World Series history in 21 years. 21 up, 21 down. Take it to the bank. 21 down, baby.
Take it to the bank.
Speaking of 21, the over-under for when I played hockey Sunday was 21 and a half goals allowed, and the under hit, baby. Woo!
What'd you give up?
10. Hey, but I saved more than 10, so that was the most impressive part. But let's not we don't forget about hockey. I gotta say that for 7th man.
I will say one thing about Blake playing hockey real quick. He did have a snazzy little glove save.
Hey, I had a few snazzy little glove saves.
Then he did take one off the front of the grill too, though.
I took 2. One of them knocked my side strap off, and I swear I heard bells for at least 45 seconds. It was rough. Like I felt like Mike Tyson hit me in the side of the temple. I still feel it. I ain't gonna lie. I think that's where the other one hit me.
Anyway, off of hockey, Blake saves that for his other podcast. If you guys are listening, go plug. I'll plug it. Or go ahead and plug it. 7th Man.
Yeah, definitely check out 7th Man. 7th Man Lounge. It's a Lounge Network production, of course. Talk hockey. We're gonna get back on there Thursday nights. We're gonna start having some more guest co-hosts. Hopefully, have some big time guests again. We had JP Dumont on last time. Hopefully, we got some more big Preds alumni coming on. It's going to be a big time show. Very excited to get back on there, especially with the expansion draft coming up in May. Gotta love hockey in the South. The sport's growing, fastest growing sport in the South, and I love covering that team. Very happy to be doing it. So please check out 7th Man Lounge. We're on Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Check it out. It is the number 7th Man Lounge.
Real quick, again, we appreciate you guys coming in. Brandon and Juan, I saw you guys. We appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah, I tried to say something about it while we were talking about softball, but Adam just kept talking because I said, hey, and I was going to be like, what's up, Brandon? And I was going to be like, what's up, Juan?
We appreciate you guys coming on. Again, please go subscribe, share this, review it. We're on everything, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Apple, all of it. You guys that are listening on Apple, are watching live, this will be out on audio version tomorrow. So please, again, go subscribe for us. We've got a couple of different other things we're going to talk, and I really want to talk about this because this is massive. That Nick Saban signed an extension through 2028. So what does that mean? Well, me and Blake talked about this. What that means is we think 3 more natties, right?
3 to 4 for sure. I think it's just something that we all knew was coming. I mean, I think we all know deep in our hearts Nick Saban's going to be there until he probably cannot physically do it anymore.
I think he's come out and said that, though. I think he wants to coach till he said he can't do it.
I think he said he wants to coach until he doesn't love it anymore, and I think he's a long ways from that.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at all this. Sorry, I know I interrupt you.
Go ahead.
For a while, it's about making their ass quit, and you're wanting to win every single game. But, the last few years, you started to see him have a lot of fun. He's smiling on the field. He's doing stuff that he doesn't usually do. I mean, he's marching with his players before the season. He's doing fun stuff on Zoom, doing fun interviews, doing just little things on social media stuff you haven't seen him do before. He's enjoying life and enjoying coaching right now. And that should make every single college football fan of every other team terrified right now, because that man will be at Alabama for at least 10 more years. And so let's think about that. That's at least 5 to 6 more national championships for Alabama. And now they're talking about making a 12-team playoff. Let a 2-loss Alabama get in a playoff with 12 teams and win. And I guarantee you they will go straight back to 4.
So I was looking, Saban's 69 years old. He'll be 70 in October. So season starts. So that'll put him at what? 77 by the time his contract's up. 77,
I
70.
mean, I think he'll go till at least 80.
Let's just say he does.
I think he ages well. I mean, Miss Terry keeps him right.
Yeah, she does. I can't help but think when you're talking about that, I couldn't help but think of that video or the little conference he was having, the little story about him and Miss Terry. It was so damn funny.
At the gas station. Yeah, that's a great story.
She said, hell no, if I'd have married him.
Right. Hey, Brandon, Bama, Wisconsin, you might be excited about it, but you're not really excited about it. Wisconsin don't want Bama, baby. You don't want Bama either, and you'll figure that out real freaking fast.
Nothing like, remember when Vandy did that? We want Bama, and then it was 53 or 63 to nothing.
Brandon, ask Andrew Holt how Florida State wanting Bama was in that first game they had. Yeah, they hadn't been the same since. Easy.
On Wisconsin. Hey, I don't dislike the Badgers. I mean, they're just a
subpar football team. They're not anywhere near the scale of an Alabama or an Ohio State or Clemson.
Hold on, Brandon.
Best quarterback in the 60s.
I don't even know Brandon. Who's your quarterback? Honest question. Throw that up there in the comments. I don't know who it is.
I mean, are you talking about in history? Or are you talking about right now? What are you talking about? I'm pretty sure Bo Nix is probably better than the quarterback at Wisconsin.
Oh God!
And he hates his child.
Did you really?
Who?
He said Graham Mertz. Book it.
Somebody put in the chat the Snoop Dogg who gif for me real quick, please. Who?
He said, "Book it."
Did y'all recruit him out of Slovakia? That's a nice last name.
We'll see what happens. I'm ready for that, though.
Shout out Sergeant Brandon. Also, thank you for your service, Sergeant. I know I saluted you, and you work for a living, unlike those petty little lieutenants and up.
Yeah, let's not bash.
I'm not bashing. I'm speaking the truth, and he'll agree. Watch. I guarantee he's like, you are right in this chat.
But it's back on to Saban. It's huge, not only for the football team. It's just huge for Alabama in general. I mean, that football team brings in so much money.
No doubt.
I mean,
think about 100, almost 102,000. What's going to go back down once they do the renovations again inside? But 102,000 people in one place. That's a lot of ticket money. And you're talking $100 minimum face value on big games.
How many games are you going to go to this year?
I'd like to go to one. I haven't been to a game in 2 years. My last game was the Alabama-Georgia SEC title game where Tua got hurt. Jalen came in and brought us back.
We'll have to me and old Balake will have to link up this year and go to a game.
Adam, you know what we should do one episode of this show? We should definitely tell my natty story. Now that I think about it. That would be a good little segment.
Do you want to tell your natty story or do you want to save it?
Let's do my natty story either later on this episode or on other. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Do we take a break on live shows? I don't remember.
We don't take a break on live shows.
I mean, I didn't know if we have commercials. I mean, this is a first time thing for us. Damn, I know you've been doing it on the other shows.
No, we won't take a break. But what Saban brings, and here's the thing I love about him. One, he's an asshole. Like I get people ask me all the time, why would they want to go to Alabama and sit? I'm like, well, they want to win championships and they want to go to the NFL.
Well, I really don't like how they said go to Alabama and sit because
We play
players
freshmen.
don't. I don't think if you ask a single player on Alabama what they do at Alabama, and they will not tell you they sit. They don't sit on the bench, dude. These guys are preparing day in and day out against the first team guys, getting them right. Because if they're not preparing the first team guys, guess what? Our first team guys aren't ready. And if they're not ready, they're not going to be ready in the game. So our second team and our scout team guys got to be prepared. That's how it is.
You know what's funny though about our second team?
They could start anywhere in the country.
Yeah. They just it's 4 and 5 stars after 4 and 5 stars. I mean, this recruiting class.
Speaking of 4 and 5 stars, have you heard the rumor that Alabama could be the early favorite for Arch Manning?
No way.
I read that somewhere today. I also saw Texas and Clemson was a possibility, but Bama could be an early favorite to land the next Manning.
That would be something.
That I honestly wouldn't want that name at Alabama, to be honest with you, because there's a lot of hype behind that. I mean, think about Paul Tyson. He's Paul Bear Bryant's grandson. There was a lot of hype behind him. Not much came from it. There was a lot of hype. Kid, what's his name? Is from California, not too long ago.
Oh, Blake.
Barnett. Blake Barnett.
Blake Barnett. Yeah,
I had a lot of hype behind him, and same thing. He busted on us. I mean, he didn't really flare anywhere. I don't want a kid like that to pop up and get that scholarship because of his last name and bust it for us and waste the scholarship. I mean, he could get someone somewhere else and possibly get some playing time. Don't come waste that at Alabama. We need that scholarship.
You think Paul Tyson sees the field?
In warm-ups.
Because, this is the biggest debate right now in Alabama football. Who's going to be the starter? There's no debate, guys. It's Bryce freaking Young.
I think a lot of trolls try to stir up some drama on Twitter with that debate, and it wasn't even really a debate. It's asinery. I don't think that's the word. I think I just made that up. But
attaboy.
It's just nuts. Like, come on now. Bryce Young is going to be QB1 from day 1 till day 0, whatever. He's going to be the guy. We saw Matt Jones hand the ball off to him, and he's the guy that's been preparing all year. He played really well at the end of the year when we had to put him in. He made some great throws. Yep. Made that throw to Devontae that was just absolutely beautiful at the end of the season. Yeah. Just ridiculous string line.
We're in good hands. We are. I'm really anxious to see this team this year with the recruiting class that he brought in. How the young kids that are coming in, the freshmen, if they're going to step up and play, and it's exciting, man. I mean that recruiting class was the best class ever.
I mean, it might have been one of the greatest teams ever, to be honest. I mean,
we'll see. I think Bryce is going to be fine. And, you got Bill O'Brien down there now, which, not many people like him. I don't think Bill O'Brien was not a good NFL/GM. He had too much power, and he did stupid shit. But him with Saban, it's perfect. Saban will straighten them out. I think that team's going to be great. I think high hopes for football this season. So, okay, I want to talk about this just because he's a Bama boy, and me and you are both Titans fans.
Oh, hold on. Don't get to the alumni news yet. Hide that. Hide the Julio to the Titans. We're not going to that yet. We got an announcement to make for about Bama football today. So they announced a home and home series.
Oh, yeah,
2028, 2029. Oklahoma State. 2028 will be traveling to Oklahoma, taking on the Cowboys of OSU. And then 2029, they'll be heading to Bryant-Denny to play. And I know that's right there with that extension with Nick Saban. It'll be very interesting to see if Saban's even there for that series.
Let's just hope he is.
I want to hope he is. I don't want to have to think about a new era of Alabama football without him yet. No,
nobody does, man. When you endured pain like we did before Saban came, it was rough being an Alabama football fan for a while. And hell, it was rough being an Alabama basketball fan too. And now Nate's there.
I mean, it's still kind of rough. We're getting there. We're gonna win. The rust is off. Now we're polishing.
Yeah, we haven't talked. We weren't going to talk much basketball tonight, but you want to talk any basketball? There's not much. I mean, I know we got some great transfers coming in.
I mean, Nate Oates got a chance to see some of his guys start. They started summer workouts. I think Charles Bedico measured up at 6'11". That's a big physical force we can have down low. I think that's something Alabama's been missing. They're going to have a lot of talent shooting the ball this year. I think it's going to be a very big year for basketball. I'm very excited for you to get there.
Blake does not want to end in heartbreak like we did last year.
Dude, I don't want to have to wait 2 weeks to talk about that last game again. That was rough. So deeply invested. Like I'm already right there with the Predators. Like I've waited 2 weeks to do my heartbreaking recap of that series ending in Game 6, but it'll be all right. But all right, now let's get on to what you were going to say, because we got a Bama alum that's heading to old Nashville.
Dude, I am like beyond ecstatic about this. First of all, I got to do a shout out real quick. It's going to fire Blake up. Blake probably didn't see this, but your boy, my boy too, Stephen Burton. He sent out a tweet. He's like, just because you signed Julio Jones doesn't mean you're going to win the Super Bowl. Now, first of all,
why is a Colts fan talking about the Super Bowl?
God damn it. I knew you were going to bring something up. First of all, Titans fans didn't say we didn't say we were going to win the Super Bowl. Here's what Julio Jones does for that team. One, it's freaking Julio Jones. He's a fucking avatar on the field. I don't care if he's 32 years old or not. Second, he lines up opposite of A.J. Brown, which now forces defenses to have to cover receivers versus stacking the box against Derrick Henry. Before, the Titans had, Corey Davis, yeah, he was good. He's not Julio Jones.
No.
They had Adam Humphries who couldn't stay on the field. He had too many concussions. Now it kind of opens it up, and Colts fans are Colts fans. They love their team just like I love the Titans, just like I love Alabama. But for them to – here's my thing about them. Carson Wentz, you don't know what you're going to get out of him yet. Are you going to get 2017 Carson Wentz where he was an MVP? Or are you going to get, Carson Wentz of the last 2 years who throws more picks and touchdowns? But the comment Steven made, his brother, Josh, who came on our wrestling podcast that me and Steven have, said he's told me today, he's like, I wanted to reach through my computer and slap the shit out of him for saying that. But I'm excited, man. It's freaking Julio Jones.
Dude, yeah. I mean,
and you don't live
it's every Alabama fan's wet dream to have Derrick Henry and Julio Jones on the same team. Like, dude, that's literally a dream right there.
He had 10 good solid seasons in Atlanta, and I saw his little press release. I think he's pretty excited to be here, and not to mention what we gave up to get him.
A second and a third. No, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, and we had to absorb his salary too, but that's okay.
But here's what you have to think about. Ryan Tannehill restructured his contract today to help out with the Julio trade. These guys wanted Julio here. A month or two ago, we saw Julio working out in Nashville with Derrick Henry, getting that big pump in. We've seen A.J. Brown. He's been harassing Julio on social media. And he put out some great Titans propaganda that looks like it worked. And what's even more exciting is we're going to get to see Julio Jones in the Classic 8 jersey again, which I am pumped about.
You're wrong. He picked number 2.
He picked number 2?
Yep.
No way.
Yeah, I saw it too. And I have not seen why. I thought he was going to go 8. It made sense, right? Classic 8, back to Alabama days. But he picked number 2.
That's nuts. Where I haven't
Yeah.
seen that anywhere. You'll
Yeah.
have to send me a link for that.
I'll send you the link. I saw it on. Oh shit, I can't remember. I have it saved on my phone. I will send that to you.
It better be a reputable freaking
It
source.
is.
Adam, or I'm going to be upset.
It's TMZ.
I'm gonna bring my strained MCL up there and whip your ass.
Here he goes. He's crying about his hockey again. Took one off the wrist, off the forehead.
Look,
MCL strained.
It was a rough day. But
what happens when you get over 30, huh?
Yeah, barely. Yeah.
Then when you get close to 40, it's even worse. That's why I play golf and play slow pitch softball.
Yeah, I'd be a little more. I guess I could get some more challenging. Slow pitch softball, I got like a 700 batting average, and Andrew Holt can back me up on that too.
Okay. Well, you need to be playing more golf because I haven't seen you playing any lately.
Well, first off, golf is expensive. Second off, I suck. Third off, I lose a lot of golf balls when I play.
Man, my son, when he first started playing, he'd hit shitty golf balls. But in Columbia, where we play, a couple of holes line the driving range, he'd go by and like balls that had fluttered over into the fairway. He'd pick all the. I mean, this kid was using range balls on his when he's actually playing. It was funny. But so, what do you think with Julio coming? Obviously, it makes them better, right? So, where do you see? What do you envision the Titans with Julio this year? What do you envision them doing?
They're absolutely a Super Bowl contender on the offensive side of the ball. They need to fine-tune a few more things on the defensive side of the ball to be a complete go-getter for the Super Bowl and possibly be a favorite for it.
Yeah.
But they're up there now. I mean, I think they should be a favorite to win the division. Shout out Steven, your crappy little Colts are about to get ransacked by the Titans. I don't know if y'all will ever beat the Titans again until Julio leaves.
Hey,
bad for you, homie.
I got to record with him tomorrow night, so don't piss him off too much.
I mean, if that pisses him off, I got some things to say. But no, man, I think the Titans have a legit shot at win the Super Bowl this year if Julio plays to the Julio we all know. And
stays healthy.
Now that you told me he is number 2, I am very interested to see how he does because I don't think we've seen him in the number 2 before.
I've never seen him in 2.
I mean, it makes sense though. 1 + 1 = 2.
That's the only thing I could think of because I did kind of do the same thing. I wore number 11 in baseball in high school, and I can't remember what year. I think it might have been sophomore year. No, it was freshman year. I couldn't get number 11 because a junior had number 11. And I was like, well, hell, give me 22. 11 + 11, 22. So you might be onto something there. If it was my guess, you're probably right. That's the only thing I can think of why he would wear number 2. I know A.J. Brown said he'd give him that number.
He offered 11, and Julio said no.
And Julio said no. Hey, I did see something else. This is kind of off the beaten path of Julio. I saw something else pop up on Twitter that Najee, after practices and shit, he was staying after like 2 and 3 hours. Mike Tomlin had to come out there and tell him to go home.
Oh no, it was
it wasn't Tomlin.
Coach. It was the running backs coach.
Yeah.
He was like, bro, I'm going home. Like, peace, homie. Like, you can keep working if you want, but I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Najee Harris is living the life right now up in Pittsburgh. We see him in some Penguins games. I hate that. See him in that black and gold trash, but it looks like he's having a great time in Pittsburgh, living his life and really enjoying his career in the NFL, or early start to it so far, at least.
I think we kind of talked about this, I think last time, maybe, or it might have been on our draft episode. I'm not sure. It's getting harder and harder now to root for our Alabama players that are in the NFL because there's so damn many and they're spread throughout the league. I think Washington has a shit ton, though. I think Washington has a lot of Alabama players on their team. But it's almost to the point now. I mean, I'm always going to support the Titans, but I want to see all of our guys do well in the NFL. But what else you got, bro? It's 45
Man,
minutes.
I don't have too much. Yeah, it's been a good, fun little show.
Well, let's end it. We will, like I said, we're going to be bi-weekly, guys, right now until football starts back up or gets closer to starting back up. Again, we appreciate everybody that watched live tonight for the first time ever. Bama Lounge was live. If you watched us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, again, we greatly appreciate it. I do want to throw something out. We have Bama Lounge merch.
And people are buying it.
People are buying it. Thank you to my mother, who knows nothing about Alabama, but supports our show and mainly me. She doesn't like you. Just joking. She loves you. She thinks me and Blake have been friends for like 15 years. So
we've been friends less than a year.
Yeah, less than a year. But we do have merch. If you guys follow us on Twitter, it's actually in our bio, in our link there. It's on Facebook as well. Actually, it will be on YouTube as well too. So if you follow any one of those, you can follow our Facebook page, our Instagram page, all of that stuff. You can click the link in there. We got shirts, hoodies, cups, all kinds of shirts, T-shirts, hoodies. I think we got tank tops. We got women's stuff. We got baby onesies. There's all kinds of stuff in there. And like you said, people are buying it. We've had a couple of people reach out, send us pictures. So again, we appreciate you guys who did go on there and support the show. And again, please go subscribe, share this, review it, send it to somebody. I don't care who you send it to. Send a link to your mom, to your dad, somebody that's an Alabama fan. Again, once football starts back up, we'll get ramped back up and getting weekly and getting a little more into everything that's going on. But right now, stuff's kind of ending, and we just want to stay current with everybody. So, Balake, it was fun as usual.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back in a couple of weeks, and we'll see you guys then. Roll Tide, man.
Roll Tide.